둘, 셋, 파! 안녕하세요. 방탄소년단입니다.
Okay, so we're at my house.
Yeah, together. Which is great.
Which is amazing. Bethany is in Kansas City for a couple days on her way out to her next placement.
Yeah, which I haven't actually said on the podcast where I'm going next.
Yeah.
I'll be going to Olympia, Washington, which I'm really excited about, but I'm moving all the way back out to the West Coast. So it's going to be a long drive, but
yeah.
We have gotten to see each other twice since I've had my little mini break, and
which is awesome.
I head out tomorrow, so we recorded tonight.
Yeah, this is like spoiled in like long distance friendship, being able to see each other like a couple times within a month. It's amazing. So we are together, which is just the best, and we want to say welcome back to you guys.
Yes, welcome back.
I'm Kayla.
And I'm Bethany, and this is Standing BTS.
Yes.
Yeah, welcome to another wonderful episode where we get to hang out for about an hour and just talk about BTS.
What a wonderful hour it is, too. But disclaimer, this is an informative fangirl podcast. That means that we're going to fangirl, laugh, and learn a little bit along the way.
Yep, that's right. This is an explicit podcast, though, so if you aren't cool with that, you can dip out now. We won't blame you.
Totally. But if you're down for some, I want to dive into NamJin's deep dimples.
Yes, I love his dimples. Or I'm not shitting around when I say I desperately need the K-drama.
Yes. Then you're in the right place.
Yes.
So today we're back with another installment of the ship series. So to pick what ship we do, we draw names out of a cup, and we're just going to cut to that right now. This time yesterday, us picking the ship. Okay, so let's draw the ship.
Do the drawing. All right.
Got the cup.
She always has to shake the cup.
We have to do it.
You know.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh no.
NamJin.
Ooh, okay, all right.
Okay.
I'm content with that.
All right.
Yeah. I was like, if you draw Taeyong, I fucking swear.
Every time.
All right. I'm gonna draw.
Oh my god, what could it be?
Seokjin.
Yes!
We're doing NamJin.
NamJin.
Oh, damn, girl. This is gonna be so fun to research. There's so much content. There's so much fucking content.
Yep. So we're going to go research and we'll get back to you.
We'll get back.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
And we're back.
We're back.
So just so you know, how we always lay out a ship episode is that for the first half or so of the episode, we talk about the ship in a romantic way, in trying to get in the mindset of people who ship these two people romantically.
Yeah.
And then for the second half of the episode, we just talk about the friendship in general.
So, big disclaimer here. No ships are real. No ships are confirmed. Our purpose for the ship series is that shipping is a part of the fandom and of K-pop culture, built in by fan service. Every single possible ship is shipped by someone. So the purpose of this ship series is to explore everything that is out there about that ship. If you don't like romantic discussion into ships, then go ahead and feel free to fast forward to the second half of this episode.
And we'll try to say, okay, this is a romantic part, so you hear it.
You'll know.
Right. But before we get into it today, we have to thank you wonderful, amazing armies for being here and for supporting us. If you're a fan of this show and you want to show your support for us, you can do that by telling people about this podcast, by writing a review wherever you listen, and then if you want to go above and beyond and show us extra support, you can do that by donating monthly to our Patreon at patreon.com/standingbts.
Or if you'd like, you can make a one-time donation at paypal.me/standingbtspodcast. Your support helps us to improve the quality of our content and to continue putting out weekly episodes. Any type of support you guys have to offer is super appreciated. Just remember... Just remember that our show notes are now being posted on Patreon for patrons giving $1 a month or more. Just so you know, we also have other perks for patrons giving $5, $10, $15 a month, including behind-the-scenes footage of research, reactions to videos, and personalized messages.
And actually, hopefully, this week or next week, I'll put out a substantial length behind-the-scenes episode of Bethany, Corey, Jordan, and I debating a very serious topic related to BTS.
Yeah. It's pretty great. We recorded that last night when we just wanted to hang out. And then we came back here and it ended up being like a whole BTS night. And Corey was not expecting that. But it was so fun.
It was so
fun. I'm excited for that to be put on Patreon.
Yeah, so that'll be there if you're subscribed to our Patreon. So let's get into content of the week. My content of the week this week is...
I love that I get to actually look at you. We're like actually talking to each other.
We actually get to look at each other like eye to eye and have an actual conversation. It's amazing.
It's incredible.
So my content of the week is Jimin's birthday was this week. And on Twitter, the top 20 worldwide hashtag trends were taken up by trends for his birthday, by hashtags for his birthday.
I did not know that until you had mentioned it to me earlier. Yeah. I did not know that. That's incredible.
He's the first person to ever do that. Like, it's amazing.
His impact. My content of the week is, and we didn't get to watch this together. We said we would.
Damn, we'll do it after recording.
Do it after, yeah. It's the Bonton Bomb jacket shooting in the bathroom for Boy With Love. It's just great to see the photo shoot and them looking at themselves in the mirror and just being all cute with each other. Like, also, that's like my favorite
photo shoot
for
God.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's so great. I had to seek out that Persona album because I was like, I need that photo shoot.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to watch it. Okay, so we're just going to dive right in to NamJin. So, like we said, we'll talk about romantic moments and then friendships. So we're going to start with romantic ideas, romantic moments, romantic things about them.
Before we do, though, we should just talk about how research went.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we knew going in when we drew it that it was a big ship.
Yeah.
So the research was really fun. We didn't really have to like go diving for romantic moments or anything like that. It was all very accessible. And so this has been super fun to research.
Yeah, for sure. I think I had even though I've heard about NamJin the entire time we've been ARMY and we've been shipping, I really have never like taken the time,
Me either, I have to say.
Yeah. And so I've just kind of heard about them and I never really like realized how much of an impact they could have.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it.
Yeah. All right, we'll get into romantic moments. We're first going to kind of start off with general things, and then we'll get into those very specific, well-known, memorable moments that they have.
So the first thing that I feel when I look at them is how super attractive they both are. Like, they make for a very good-looking couple. Like, super hot, both in a different way, like daddies completely,
Oh yeah, definitely. Before we even did the research, I was like, when I ever heard of NamJin or people talking about them, my first thing is like, oh, I don't think, oh, they're real, but I do think, wow, they're really hot together.
Really hot together.
Really hot.
It's like NamJun's dimples and his smile and like his like jawline and then like Jin's like perfect face and broad shoulders and like neck.
They go together well.
They're both tall and they both have like similar builds. They go together really well.
They're matching builds. Yeah. Damn. One of the things that we kind of picked up on too with them is, this is just a general comment, but just the way that NamJun looks at Jin. He has total heart eyes. He's all starry-eyed for Jin. And it's just super sweet. And it happens like most of the compilation videos we watched was just them looking at each other, or like Jin is talking and NamJoon's looking over his shoulder.
Yeah. I mean, and like too many little moments to talk about all of them, because it's like little moments, like little clips from interviews or on stage. But there is this one that we have to talk about, which is a Jin and RM vlog from September 13th, 2014.
Yeah, so it's older.
It's older.
Yeah.
It was a day after NamJoon's birthday, September 12th. And at 2:48, NamJoon looks at Jin, who's sharing stories about cooking for Jungkook's birthday, and he just kind of rests his elbow on the table and puts his head in his hand, his chin in his hand, and like he just is looking at him all starry-eyed, like dazed, like he could listen to him
he just
all day.
Leans into it.
Yeah.
And Jin is just trying to tell this story, but you can't help but to look at what NamJoon is doing, because he's just totally like just completely leaned into Jin, you know, resting his chin on his hand, looking at Jin.
Just like mesmerized by him. Yeah. So that came up a lot, and we really saw that. We should also shout out, while we're speaking generally, all the amazing fan art and fan fictions that portray NamJin.
Since they're a larger ship, there is a lot of fan fictions out there about them, and there's a lot of really good ones.
I came across earlier today a recreation of Gustav Klimt's The Kiss, and Gustav Klimt is one of my favorite artists. Like, I would say he's my favorite artist, but I'm also not very cultured in art. But I just love his work. Like, when I see it, I just think it's so beautiful and just such a cool art style. And one of his most like well-known works of art is The Kiss. And so somebody recreated it with NamJin. And it is stunning.
Yeah, it's breathtaking.
It is breathtaking. I linked it in the Google Doc, but it is so great. There's a ton of fan arts with them like snuggling in bed also. That's like a big theme of just like at the end of the day, this is just what both of them want, like the idea of that.
There's also a lot of photo shoots of them where they're like lying on each other, resting on each other. I want to give out a shout out to one of our listeners, Selena. She recommended a NamJin fanfic, and she sent this to us a while ago, so I really just wanted to throw this out there because I've read part of the fanfic, and it's actually pretty good. So it's called The King Likes Men, and it's on Wattpad, and it's written by Cries_Tells. So if you guys are wanting to read a good NamJin fanfic, there you go.
Yeah, we'll have to check it out. But I also wanted to say that right now, currently this week, it's hashtag NamJin Week 19 on Twitter, where shippers are posting AUs and fanfics and fan art all about NamJin this week. It's like a whole celebration. Yeah. Which
we really lucked out that it was NamJin Week.
Had no
19.
idea. Yeah. So that's happening right now.
Okay. So let's get into some specific moments, the real good stuff. So, again, we're on romantic. They went and had an interview with Access Hollywood, all of BTS. And, of course, Jin was sitting right next to NamJoon. He's, like, sitting to the right of him. And they asked, like, what they love about each member to whatever, the left of them, right of them, whatever. And so Jin had to say what he loved about NamJoon. And what he says is, I love your sexy brain. But it's not so much like just that. It's what he's doing when he says it.
Yeah, it's totally what he's doing.
He full on leans into NamJoon. He like takes his arm and rests it on NamJoon's shoulder. And he's being so seductive. He's being so charming. And you can't help but to notice how NamJoon is getting a little like, he's like blushing a little bit, kind of looking down, smiling. But if Jin ever fucking did that to me...
oh my God. Like, you would just...
melt.
Just the Jin's, like, intense, like, full power of seduction glare was on his face when he leaned into NamJin and said, "I love your sexy brain.
I love your sexy brain."
Like, it wasn't just a, here's a compliment. It was like, I'm seducing you.
Yeah.
Here's a compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I would be so weak in the knees.
I mean, we are just talking about it. Like, talking about it happened to somebody else a year ago. Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah. Another moment is from Arms V Live for the tier review. And Jin comes in, and when he does, I think a couple members had already come in, like Jungkook and stuff. And when Jin comes in, NamJin notices that Jin is wearing makeup and that everyone else who had come in was wearing makeup. But NamJin himself doesn't have makeup on. So he's like, oh, kind of getting insecure. Like, I'm the only one who's not wearing makeup today.
Yeah.
And Jin's response to that is, you look handsome without makeup. And he's so sincere about it. And he comes up and kind of like rubs at his shoulders. And to me, maybe this could be more friendship. I don't know. But to me, it just shows that Jin like really loves and cares about NamJin. And like NamJin is always being so supportive of everyone else. Like, he's doing his duty as a leader. You know, he genuinely cares about everyone. But I don't know if like people give him compliments like that all that often. I'm sure BTS does, but for Jin to say, you look good without makeup.
It's nice to have that support.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like emotionally supporting him and then physically reinforcing that with a little bit of a shoulder massage, which is just so sweet.
It's endearing.
Endearing for sure. I love this little tweet that happened on April 1st of 2018. This is so that's April Fool's. And so Jimin tweeted a fake article that was supposedly exposing NamJin of being in a 1-year-old relationship. And of course, this was a joke. It was on April Fool's Day. It was like a fake site. But
this has never happened with like a BTS member in a ship, like acknowledging a ship or doing something like that.
Not something like that big.
To that extent, yeah.
To that extent, to like say that they're in a 1-year-long relationship.
Yeah.
Other members have like jokingly shipped themselves and said like, we're together or we're broken up. But like, not like a member of BTS who's not a part of the ship.
Yeah.
Like exposing them, you know? So
from
this
like a false article
Right.
about them had been dating for a year.
Right.
Yeah.
So this was supposed to be like very funny and obviously like made up because it was April Fool's. But ever since then, it's like sparked true like thought and debate on if they really are real and like why would they choose NamJin to joke about if there wasn't like something to actually joke about type thing.
Yeah.
And there's like definitely other videos that we came across that like make it seem like other members of BTS are like joking about or like hinting towards NamJin being a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Oh, everything you said. It's just interesting.
It's interesting.
Yeah. I'm sure Twitter was crazy that day when Jimin retweeted this article.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another romantic moment is from SBS Pop Asia. It was like an interview with BTS, and the guy who was talking, I'm pretty sure, had like an Australian accent.
Yeah.
But there was a translator present there too. But it was one of those typical kind of interviews that we talked about in our last rant episode.
Which, like, you guys so lovingly named a rant episode.
Rant episode, yeah.
Love it.
Anyways, he's interviewing the BTS members and he's asking them who their current celebrity crush is. And Jin turns to RM and says, Rap Monster. Yeah, it's so cute. And you see Jimin and J-Hope behind them and they're like totally shipping it. They're so on board. They're like doing like, they're drawing hearts and kind of singing. Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah. I love that moment. And it's like, it's another one of those like BTS exposing them, but it's in like a joke way, but also like really exposing them, you know?
Yeah.
So, oh God.
This one,
like, guys.
We have to link this in the description for sure.
I'll make sure to link it also in the Google Doc. But like, we were just watching NamJin videos before recording for a while.
Yeah, to get in the mood. Yeah.
And because we had just finished like fully writing everything down. And we came across this moment and it affected us so deeply. Like, we both almost cried.
Yeah.
If at the very, like, teared up, you know?
For sure, yeah.
And so we just, let's
really
talk about
built it up now.
Okay. So Bon Voyage 1 is when this is taking place. BV1, as Bethany would say.
Shut up. There's got to be armies who say that.
So in Bon Voyage 1, NamJin lost his passport. And, like, all the members were saying bye to him at the airport because he couldn't stay. He couldn't enter the country.
Yeah.
So out of everybody, Jin looked the most upset. Like, his hood was up. His strings of his hoodie were, like, slightly tightened. And his arms were crossed at times. And we both kind of observed, like, it's very possible he was just, like, pissed off at the situation. You could read it that way. And maybe we were just interpreting it as sad because of the music that the person edited over it. Yeah. However, this is a very candid moment. So we just felt like there's a lot of emotions to unpack, like not just one. But in his eyes, he looked sad. Yeah. Like, he looked hurt.
He looked so hurt. So hurt. And the thing is you can see all the members
around them.
Yeah, they're all around him, and you can see their reactions. You know, they all seem a little bummed about it, right? But, like, Jin is closest to the camera, and he's just as clearly more hurt or more upset or maybe angry about this situation. Yeah. And so it just makes you question, you know, he's like really seriously sad that NamJin isn't going to be with them for the remainder of their trip.
Yeah. And then, like, when all the members are surrounding basically Jin, who's, like, kind of looking at NamJin and every once in a while glancing away, Hobie leans in, like, leans to look at Jin's face. And he has, like, out of concern, like, he has a huge look of concern on his face. And you can even, in the side of the frame, see Jungkook kind of doing the same thing. And so it's not just, like, Jin is pissed off. It's, like, the other members are worried that he's okay.
Hobie really gives it away. Because Hobie, you can see him standing there, and you can see that he's concerned while looking at Jin. So concerned that he leans over to get a better visual of Jin's face to try to read him. And Hobie looks so concerned. Yeah. Like, genuinely worried about Jin.
When leaving the airport after NamJin has left them and they're outside waiting for, like, their shuttle, Jin looked even more upset, and he even wiped his nose as if he had been sniffling. And then they're on a train. They're taking a train somewhere. Yeah. And on the train, he still looks sad. And it's to the point where it's, like, very obviously he's not mad. Yeah. Like, everybody else has, like, kind of moved on. They're like, it sucks, but, like, whatever. Yeah. And even, like, Jimin is sitting right next to him smiling at one point, and Jin just, he legitimately looks like he's about to start crying.
It's heartbreaking to look at because the Jin we know now, he's always happy. Like, he's always really kind of upbeat. You know, he has his times where he gets, like, really pissed off, but it's still kind of humorous because he's trying to be. But to see him this candid, this upset, I mean, we haven't seen Jin like this very much. And so it was really hard to watch.
It was strange to see him that way.
Yeah.
And so I guess that we have this under romantic moments because just of, like, how powerful he felt in that moment and how much he was affected more so than the other members about NamJin having to leave, how sad he was. And it made us think about how sad we have been when we've had to leave our significant other. Like, it sucks.
Yeah, or, like, if you go on a trip with a group of people and then all of a sudden your significant other can't stay for the remainder of the trip, it's not going to be as fun anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely.
But, I mean, it could go, too, for, like, your best friend.
Right.
But all of BTS are, like,
best
really
friends
best friends
at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just, I mean, he really strongly affected us with how sad and upset he looked. So we just had to mention it. Yeah.
So our next moment is a little bit more lighthearted.
Yeah.
This is from Bon Voyage 2 or BV2. It's when they're in Hawaii and they're at a luau, and the announcer at the luau asks for people who are celebrating their wedding anniversary to stand up, which is really common to do there. When I was in Hawaii on my honeymoon, like we had to stand up because we were honeymooners, you know. It's
Cute.
just kind of a thing. So when they say this, they say it in English. And so NamJin stands up because he knows what they asked. But it's just funny that he stood up. And Jin is sitting right next to him. And so he asks him to kind of like translate it, like what that guy say. So he translates it for him that he asked for the anniversary people to stand up. And when he said that, Jin immediately shoots up from his seat. And they stand there next to each other like they're there together celebrating their wedding anniversary. So cute.
So cute. And they like both like crack up and
yeah, they laugh.
They laugh, but it's like Jin didn't even think about it. Of course he was going to stand up. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Then at a concert, don't know which concert. It would literally be impossible to find out which concert.
It was an older concert for sure. It wasn't recent.
Yeah. So Jin on his back, this is probably like the final ment, okay? On his back, he's wearing pennants that, like, kind of like party pennants, and they spell out army. Like, each triangle has a different letter on it, and underneath it is another pennant that has a heart on it. So Jimin comes up behind Jin, and he puts his hands over the A and the Y so that only RM and the heart is exposed. So seemingly, presumably, once again exposing NamJin. Yeah.
That Jin now is wearing a shirt with pennants that say RM heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's incredible. I just want to say Jimin exposes everyone, but
Yeah. Oh, he has no chill, and he throws shade all the time, which is amazing. Like that's why I love it so much. I love him so much. Okay.
Yeah.
This next moment is, it's amazing.
This one's incredible. So this was on V Live, and we never really ended up going and finding what exact V Live it is, but it's a pretty specific description of what happens. It was like on V Live Plus, so you had to have paid a little extra to see it. So the maknae line are all hanging out around this piano. Taehyung's on the piano, Jungkook's right next to it singing. Jimin is kind of just hanging off to the side. But in the back part of the room, you can just barely see Namjoon in the footage. And he's lying on a couch, just like messing around on his phone.
Yeah, comfy.
Yeah, yeah. And so Taehyung is playing the piano, and he starts to play like the wedding march on the piano, because he probably doesn't know very many songs at this point in time. And so Jungkook starts to sing or announce, "Please welcome groom Kim Seok-jin." And he kind of waits, and he looks over his shoulder, and he says, like he's going to add on. And he's looking at Namjoon, and then immediately Jimin, Taehyung, and Jungkook just bust into laughter because, you know, I feel like they were going somewhere with it. Like, they knew where it was going. So Big Hit actually cuts it off here. Like, kind of cuts them off from going any further. And you can see Namjoon in the back, like, kind of turn to the camera, and he has, like, a smile on. Like, it's just funny.
Yeah. But, like, they either cut out a moment and then went to them, like, laughing about it, or they just cut them off.
You think
after.
they cut it? They cut out a section?
In the video that we saw, it kind of looked disjointed, like a section of it was cut out.
I should have looked at it closer because I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like a weird kind of transition.
Yeah.
They just didn't say it.
But it was a weird transition from like a close up of Jungkook where he's kind of like almost fully glancing back over his shoulder saying cut like almost in the middle of him talking to the maknae line all laughing.
Yeah.
And like starting to disperse.
Yeah, they were like kicked out. They were leaving.
Right. So anyways, a little suspicious.
For
sure. Okay, so in 2013, BTS were on a show called Idols of Asia, and during the show, Jin called Namjoon Oppa.
I had never heard of this.
I never fucking heard of this. And this must be one of those, like, initial seeds that started to sprout Namjin. Like, one of the earliest things that people were like,
I mean, yeah,
this is proof.
Yeah, it was back in 2013.
Yeah. So, just because I don't think we've ever covered it on the podcast. Ever. We've never needed to.
I never even knew about this moment up till now.
Me neither.
Yeah.
So Oppa it literally means older brother of a female person, but it kind of changed over time, and now it can refer to a female person's older brother or very close friend who is older, a romantic interest, a boyfriend, and sometimes even a husband if they're older. But, like, Namjoon is none of those things to Jin. Like, none.
Yeah.
So for him to call him this is a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's different.
I'm curious why he did it. We also don't really know much of the context of the clip. But yeah. I mean, I had heard of, like, girls even calling, like, BTS members Oppa or whatever. And so I we knew that it was like a younger girl saying to an older brother or just an older male, so it was interesting to look into the actual definition of it or, like, the different meanings, but none of them really match Jin's relation to Namjoon. Right.
And so, like, maybe the context of the show that they were on, like, for some reason had him say it, like maybe he was acting out something or whatever. That could be a very plausible explanation.
Yeah.
But, like, remember that time where Taeyoung called Jungkook young?
Yeah.
And how big of a fucking deal we made about it?
Because people tripped over it.
People tripped over it.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like this is one of those things, too, that people tripped over it.
Yeah, but not many people know about it, probably because it was all the way back in 2013.
Yeah, I had no fucking clue.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That one's interesting. We definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts on that one.
Yeah.
So the next moment we're going to talk about is from October 17th, 2016. It was at the Makdong fan sign. So this one's a pretty popular one. This is a well-known one. Jin and Namjoon are standing next to each other at this fan sign. And Jin makes some jokes and then kind of leans into Namjoon. He's, like, talking in the microphone. He leans into Namjoon and then he just winks at Namjoon. And Namjoon's, like, eating a snack or something, so his mouth is kind of full, but he looks real sly, and he winks back. Like, it's so cute. And in that moment, after, like, Namjoon returned the wink, they just kind of stare into each other's eyes, like, okay, like they're flirting.
Yeah.
And so after that, Jin is like, okay, I'm going to get back to reading whatever I have to do for this fan sign. So he turns away, and Namjoon, like, kisses his hand and blows a kiss at Jin, which is such a Jin thing to do. But Namjoon is doing it to Jin. Yeah. So cute. But what makes this even more perfect is after he blows the kiss, Jin is, like, going and trying to collect his script basically on the table. And so he didn't see it. So Namjoon taps Jin and is like, turn around, look at me. And so Jin looks back at Namjoon, and then Namjoon blows him another kiss.
So fucking cute. Like, love me.
Love me.
Love me.
Yeah.
Look at my love that I'm giving you, Which kind of goes into, like, this next thing last thing about them romantically is Namjoon feeding into Jin's ego, and I guess in this way, like, Jin was kind of feeding into Namjoon's, like, need for love in that situation. But, like, Namjoon happily, whenever asked, always says that Jin looks really cute or really handsome. And he does it often unprompted. Like, he's just like, look at him over there, like, wow, he looks so great. Of course, Jin loves to hear it.
Of course.
He loves being praised for his looks. And Namjoon just really sincerely compliments him. Like, and he will do it organically or he'll do it when asked. But yeah.
It always, to me, seems very organic, even when it's asked.
Genuine.
Yeah. Like, he really means it.
there was this one interview where they were talking about Fire at the time, and NamJin was speaking about the Fire music video, and he just really basically wondered how Jin was so hot in it. He literally asked Jin, like, how are you so hot in this video? So yeah, he's not hiding it.
We all ask that question
every day. And in that moment, all of us were NamJin. Yeah. So that's our romantic moments.
And honestly, guys, the romantic moments were a lot of the moments.
Vast.
Yeah.
There are so many. And there's like so many more that we didn't even talk about, that we didn't bring up. Yeah. Like, please don't be afraid to like DM us or like tweet things at us.
That you really love.
Yeah. But like, there's so much out there. I was surprised. And I mean, I guess I wasn't really surprised knowing how big of a ship they were, that there's a lot of romantic stuff out there. But I was surprised at how much I got sucked into it. Yeah. Especially with being such a big NamJin shipper. It's hard to think about another ship seriously romantically.
Seeing it in the romantic light, yes. And I just think going into this, both of us were not like... I don't know, we didn't have many expectations, but I didn't expect there to be so many romantic moments that I was actually like, now wait a second. Yeah. Like, okay.
I expected to feel way more friendship heavy. And for this one, I think I can truly, not that I'm going to like start hardcore shipping them like I do with like NamJin, just because I have like so many sentimental reasons to that now at this point. It's been so long, but like so much time devoted. But like, I really see how people can ship them full on romantically.
Yes. Same.
Like, I understand the argument.
I understand the argument too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we definitely, if anything, ship them romantically in just like the fantasy, like they look great together.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The fantasy way where they just look really fucking amazing. Yeah. They're so hot.
I would easily read a fanfic.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure. Definitely. Okay, so let's move on to some friendship moments. So if you skipped the romantic moments, now is the time to stop skipping. Friendship moments start now.
Yep.
So the first kind of thing that I want to talk about is something that kept coming up. Is just like a term that people use, which is fetus NamJin. Basically to talk about that they have been friends since the beginning, which I feel at this point is like a theme that always comes up in ship episodes. Yeah. But it wasn't so much as they were like really close or really good friends from the beginning. Yeah. It was more so, in my opinion, Jin really trying hard to be friends with NamJin. Yeah. And it took a while for NamJin to really understand Jin and to like open up to him. And now they have a great relationship and a great understanding.
I think it's such a great term for them, the fetus NamJin term, because going back just briefly to romantic, I think it's one of those old school ships, one of those solid, it's a popular ship. It's been around for a while. And I think it stems from like them being so close around debut. Yeah.
And I think like a lot of the videos that we saw were definitely from that time, from 2013, 2014. Yeah. And for our ship series, we try to focus on more current stuff just so we can give you guys more updated information.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was
You can't ignore those, the old school stuff too. Right. It's there. They had this time together.
Very much so.
Something we have to just kind of touch on, and it just goes back to their friendship and how we really were thinking, how did these two become so close, is that at the beginning of BTS, when it was all starting, and they were forming together, NamJin and Jin weren't really like on the same level of dancing as, J-Hope and Jimin. Yeah. So I feel that they probably bonded over that together. Like this, just the struggle of like, I hate this. Like, why are we learning this difficult choreography? That kind of stuff. So I think that a contributor to like them being close is probably putting in extra hours for dancing or whatever. Yeah. To learn the choreo.
For sure. They probably definitely had tons of extra hours together, like working together to learn it and get it down in the studio. And I think that's even transitioned into now where they're both great dancers in their own right at this point. And they are able, we saw so many clips of like really fun friendship moments where they were just doing like a dance together. Like any dance. On stage, it could be a serious dance. It could be like more playful or whatever. But they both kind of release energy together by kind of dancing now, which is cool.
Yeah, very neat.
Yeah. So a moment that we came across that I just think is so sweet is it's from the behind the scenes video of the 2017 Billboard Music Awards. And NamJin was nervous and he turns to Jin. He had just been talking to all the members as a whole. And this is how we know like he's not addressing everyone, because he had just been addressing everyone. And then he turns and looks right at Jin and says, please stay next to me. Like he really benefits from like the moral support of Jin next to him for these types of things.
Which says a lot about their friendship. That when NamJin is put into these kind of stressful situations where he's having to speak on behalf of the group or whatever, that having Jin next to him comforts him in a way to be able to do those kinds of things. That he like gives him courage or whatever, strength. Oh, no.
But it's so cute. And like, I mean, it's just like, hey, I have to go do this really tough thing. Like asking your best friend to be there for you.
Yeah, to be supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah, he must bring him ease and comfort.
And I think Jin definitely has that air about him. I love that you said that, the ease and comfort. That's totally him. Yeah.
Yeah. Because Jin doesn't take anything seriously.
Yeah.
So he's probably,
and he also...
And NamJin takes too many things too seriously.
Yes. Oh my God. And Jin also takes no shit from anyone.
That's
you
true.
know, and NamJin is overly polite and overly humble. And Jin is like, he is like, I am amazing. I'm the best. Like, they have such a great balance.
Yes, they do.
Maybe Jin is like bringing that confidence, you know?
Yeah.
I have to talk about this, and I don't know how I didn't know about this until earlier, but NamJoon's legendary speech at Citi Field that I feel like we talked about when it happened.
Yeah, we talked about Citi Field.
Right.
It was so monumental for them.
It was. At the end, everything is. But this was truly, and he was saying, you know, please use me to love yourself. Like, use our music, use me, use our message. Please use us, you know, because sometimes Army is what makes him happy, and he wants them to be used in the same way. And he says that he, during a Run episode or something, he said that he got that idea from Jin, which I had no idea. But Jin had been talking to NamJoon, saying that he had been using other people's happiness to he himself become happy. Just noticing the happiness around others and, you know, trying to kind of absorb that and feed off of it. And I just was so struck. Because I thought of that moment of NamJoon's speech at Citi Field to be so deep.
Oh, yeah.
And that came from Jin.
Meaningful to a lot of armies. Because it's like a place for us to go, you know, that we can, to help better love ourselves through them. And I just think it's so cool that that is, you know, that the idea of that was a spark from Jin. And something that NamJoon learned from him. Definitely.
It's so cool.
Great. It's so neat. I didn't know that before we did this research. So another moment that kept coming up a lot, like almost every video of just like all these moments put together, almost all of them had this moment in it. And a lot of them used it as a romantic moment, but we're putting it in our friendship moments. So Jin, it was on this MKS like TV show. It was kind of around like maybe Boy Meets Evil era. We're not too sure. It may have been on V Live. It was just like a game where they had to complete missions, but it wasn't a run or anything like that. So Jin, his challenge was he had to have someone give him a back hug for 3 seconds. And so he gets NamJun to agree to do it. And when NamJun back hugs him, he like cuddles up right next to him and just so easily willing to do it. And he hugs him for way longer than 3 seconds, and he kind of nuzzles his head onto Jin's shoulder, and Jin like closes his eyes, and it's really sweet. It's really sweet. I think we decided friendship because it was a mission.
Yeah. Like it was a mission, and so like what basically happened was Jin walked in there looking for somebody, and I feel like NamJun basically asked, like, what do you need? And Jin he literally said, just stand there for a second, grabbed NamJun's arms and wrapped his arms around himself.
That's right, yeah.
So, like, the fact that he did the action for him.
Yeah.
But the part that's really sweet is NamJun moving his head to kind of cradle it in Jin's neck, and that's really cute.
Yeah.
And that is definitely, like, a little bit longer than 3 seconds when he does that. But we felt like the initial decision to help Jin, just to be a friend, you know, to help him complete this mission was a friendship moment.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So, one time NamJun was talking about how kind and thoughtful Jin is, where he said that they always on a plane, because their alphabetical order, Kim NamJun, Kim Seokjin, they're always sat next to each other on the plane. And when they're getting off, that he's always thinking like, oh, I should get up and get my bag or whatever. And this one time he's just being lazy. He's like really procrastinated on getting up and getting his bag because he's not going to be able to get off the plane yet anyways. So right when he's thinking like, oh, I really need to do this, Jin tossed NamJun his bag, like he had gotten it for him when he was up getting his own. And this is just one of those little
so thoughtful,
selfless acts of like friendship and love that we do for each other. Yeah.
Very, very much a friendship moment. Very so thoughtful and kind for Jin to do that. Another pretty memorable moment for NamJin is when BTS go, and I don't know what it's for, but they're petting stingrays or like sea life, and they're all like kind of in wetsuits, and they're in the water, and NamJun and Jin are next to each other, and it's Jin's turn to like pet the animals or whatever. And I'm pretty sure it's a stingray because he says something like, it's tail. It's stingrays. Yeah. And so the tail, obviously, so the stingray is swimming past him, and the tail, I guess, gets a little too close for comfort for Jin. And so he gets like all squealish and just, oh my God, so cute. But he just immediately turns and goes into NamJun's arms, like, protect me.
Yeah. He like turns around and kind of like tries to run away.
Because he's so scared. And NamJun, of course, is just laughing. But it's just a really sweet friendship moment.
Yeah. Like who does he turn for comfort? Yeah. Okay. So during Run episode 58, this was like a season finale, I think, of Run, and they were all kind of sitting around this bonfire and exchanging gifts, and Jin had gotten a gift for NamJun, and he got a couple different things, but the main thing that he got him was this little keychain that he had made that was a whale, like in the drawing, the specific like core drawing that Jin made. It was that same shape, that, you know, like that same idea. Yeah. And this was a really sentimental gift for Jin to give to NamJun because of the meaning behind this core thing. And we watched like a whole analytical video about it. But basically, Wallin 52, that song, is about that whale. And I think Jin and NamJun have this understanding that that whale is about NamJun, and they know, and you can tell from his lyrics, like that's how NamJun feels or has felt. And so Jin giving him this symbol of this whale, you know, kind of lets him know, hey, I know how you feel sometimes, and you have people here for you. And we love you.
Sweet. And Jin was adamant that it was like sentimental and that he really put thought into it, and he was giving the best he could.
His best
for
effort.
That gift.
So super sweet.
Another moment that kind of kept coming up, and this is such a cute friendship moment, it was at a fan meet during the Boy With Love era, and Jin is rapping and doing an actually really terrific job, but NamJin is sitting right next to Jin, and while Jin is rapping, NamJin is hyping him, he's energizing him, he's rooting for him, he's just so supportive, and Jin totally slays it, and it's just such a great friendship moment of them supporting each other, being goofy together,
having fun.
Just having fun.
Yeah. Another moment that like really struck us when we watched it was the behind video of the Love Yourself tier jacket shooting, the photo shoot version R. That's like the one where they're all in like the full jean outfit. So
and their eyes are all kind of little red, like they had been crying.
Because
their makeup was subtle. It was visually
amazing.
stunning aesthetic.
That was like the first version that I had to purchase.
Really?
Yeah. So the directors encouraged them to cry if they could, the photographers. If you can, cry for the shoot. So I remember that NamJin, during his shoot, he went before Jin, and he actually wasn't able to like fully cry.
Yeah.
And then he watched Jin go, and because of seeing Jin's super sad expression, and he just started crying.
Yeah.
And he couldn't stop crying.
Yeah.
And I think he like redid his shoot or like did a couple extra shots after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But wow, this could be a romantic moment, but I like looking at it from a friendship perspective because imagine seeing your friend like that sad, that truthfully sad. Like I was thinking, Kayla, if I saw you with that kind of, really upset, down expression, that I could potentially cry from it. Just seeing someone you love and care about so much be hurt.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, NamJin got emotional by looking at Jin.
He said, I'm so emotional right now. I can't stop crying.
Yeah.
His expression is just so sad. Yeah. He was really affected and really impacted. And to me, that's that like empathy, that really strong empathy that you have for a close friend, and that just vulnerability, that comfort that they have between each other, for him to be that affected by how Jin was feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really good friends.
Definitely. So, lastly, what we kind of want to say about their friendship is that they do have this laid-back friendship with each other. And I think we kind of honed in on their dynamic a little bit there when we were talking about how NamJin almost takes things too seriously and Jin doesn't take things seriously enough.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so glad we came to that
I
realization.
know, that's so cool.
while recording. But I think that goes to show why their friendship is laid back, is because they just counteract in that way, and they just have a great time. They're super goofy together. You can say this about a lot of the members' dynamics, but there's something special with them.
It's not like they're always crazy or always goofy together, but they both are definitely able to laugh and have fun, and they have found their own NamJin sense of humor that is unique to them as friends. But what I noticed is like neither of them really have expectations for each other. They're really good for each of them at seeing the other person. This is who you are, and I'm going to accept you and love you and care about you as my friend and just every single part of you. Because that's truly what I feel like they're doing.
Definitely.
And they're just totally on board with this like deep, sentimental, but sometimes super goofy and fun and lighthearted and laid back relationship that they have. Yeah.
I do think that they have a very good understanding of each other. And I really do love that you mentioned they have no expectations of each other. It's just comfort, just pure comfort. I love their friendship. I also love the romantic shit.
Yeah.
They're great.
We love NamJin.
I totally see why NamJin is a big ship. A very popular ship.
Completely. In both ways.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we're kind of wrapping up a ship series and we're like, like we didn't see the romantic at all. Like NamSock.
We had to poke and probe to find
anything
romantic stuff.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case for this. And I was a little hesitant at the beginning because I thought, I don't really think I could truthfully believe them in a romantic light, like see it.
Me too.
But totally can see it.
Yeah.
And the friendship, there's no denying the wonderful friendship that they have. This doing all this research has inspired me to go back to like old school stuff and really look at them then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can definitely see a lot of their foundation is from that time period.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So, NamJin and Jin.
Yeah.
NamJin.
We did it.
We did it.
That was a really great episode.
I love it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And we got to be together.
Which is always like, whenever we get to record together, it has to be a ship.
Always.
Yeah.
It's so fun to do together.
It's so fun.
And album reviews.
Yes. Oh my God. We're waiting for that Yoongi mixtape.
Yeah.
We're waiting for BTS to come back.
Yeah.
It's so hard to wait.
The anticipation.
So,
Yeah.
if you like this episode, or if you've liked any of our previous episodes, there's a few things you can do to let us know. We'd love to hear from you if we missed out on any of your favorite NamJin moments. Like, tweet at us so we can... Yeah,
send them our way.
Let us share them with everybody else.
Yeah, we want to see them.
Right. So, tweet at us, DM us, email us, whatever. However you want to get a hold of us. There's so many ways at this point. Thank you guys for all of the reviews that you've written on iTunes or whatever platform you listen on. Seeing those truly every time that somebody writes something.
It makes our day.
It makes our fucking day.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It feels so good to see that you guys appreciate and enjoy the podcast because...
that's the goal.
And that's why we're here doing it for you guys to enjoy it. So you can find links, of course, for all of those things in the description.
Thanks for listening and thanks for standing BTS.